Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Factly Digest. This is our second edition, which follows after an introductory edition and the first edition where you met Bharat from the fact check team and his namesake Bharat from the newsroom team. And we will be meeting representatives from the same two teams this week as well. I'm Parvati Mohan. I lead the audio production efforts here at Factly. And very quickly, for those of you joining us for the first time, thank you so much. And what is the Factly Digest about? We just want to put out, highlight some of the work that we do. So we do this once every fortnight, that's once in every 2 weeks. And we talk about some of the work that we've done across teams over the past 2 weeks that we think people should know about, and whatever the format may be, an article on our website or social media posts or something else. um, so that said, if also again, if you are here with us for the first time, we have launched memberships. So you'll find the little join button next to our channel name, so do check it out. We have some custom emojis that you can use when you're responding to our videos or our content. And you will also get priority in terms of responding to your comments on our videos. All right, so that's that. And yeah, speaking of questions, do please ask us whatever questions you may have for us on the live chat as this live goes on, and we will take the questions that we can towards the end of the live. And yeah, so we hope to have some really interesting questions about who we are and what we do. All right, with that said, I think we'll move to the part where we actually talk about the work that we did over the past 2 weeks. So welcome back to the Faculty Digest, Bharat. Last time you spoke about apart from the highlight, of course, you spoke about a broad trend in the fake news, world, which was about fake schemes and things related to policy, saying, you do this, you'll get this kind of a grant from the government, or there's this job opportunity, and of course all these are fake, the ones that you spoke about. So I just, before we get into the highlight, I wanted to know, is there some other kind of trend like that that you think people should know about?
Yeah, but last week we spoke about fake schemes and how it affects a lot of crowd, especially who are planning to apply for some government you know schemes or so. Now, last in the last fortnight, while we were debunking a particular story, it reminded me of one specific theme. I think which most of our viewers would be aware of is misinformation reported by the mainstream media.
Right.
So the specific claim that we debunked in the last fortnight, is about necrophilia cases in Pakistan. So a photo went viral. The photo, is about a locked grill door,
Mm-hmm.
on a grave,
Mm.
and it went viral with a claim saying that parents in Pakistan are locking the graves of their daughters, fearing them by being raped. Uh, Now, the context of this image is, when we researched, we found that there was a story from the Pakistani news website Daily News, which reported a story saying that parents in Pakistan are locking the graves of their daughter, and it cited this example, to use it as a increase in the rising cases of necrophilia in Pakistan.
Mm.
Now, Twitter user used this image, you know, to send on this message about this report. Now, this was picked by all the mainstream media outlets in the country, and none of them had mentioned that this image is used as a representational image.
Right.
There are certain media outlets which explicitly mentioned in the caption stating this, this image shows, Pakistan parents
Yeah.
locking. Now, while there is a report by the Pakistani news website Daily News,
Hmm.
it never used any image in their
Right.
article. Now, this image went viral. Now, we are not getting into the debate of are cases of necrophilia are increasing in Pakistan or not. But
Yeah.
this is how, a simple image that could have been used by as a representation by Twitter user could have been picked by mainstream media and have been widely circulated.
Yeah.
So this, while debunking the story, this took me back to the popular mainstream narrative that we had debunked.
Yeah.
If you remember, the World Students Day.
Yes.
Now, I would want our users to read the fact check article just to understand the scale of how a lie often, when you repeat it often enough,
Yeah.
it becomes a fact.
Yeah.
Now, just to reiterate, so this claim that we debunked a couple of years back, which states that October 15th, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary, is declared as World Students' Day by the UN.
Mm.
Now, this was reported wide. This actually started as a rumor in 2010 by some random blog.
Mm.
Now, this has not got any traction in 2010. But after the demise of Abdul Kalam,
Yeah.
one media outlet picked up in 2015, publishing an article stating this UN declared Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary as World Students' Day in 2010.
Mm.
And then every year, this story kept recurring in all mainstream media organizations. In fact, it went so very viral that the prominent personalities in the country, all the persons who hold constitutional positions,
Yeah.
like the governor of Assam and Nagaland,
Mm.
union ministers,
Yeah.
in fact, the vice president of the country, all has referred to Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary. Cited that UN declared Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary as World Students' Day while paying tributes to him.
Mm.
Now, in fact, a Rajya Sabha member from Telangana as well, requested the HRD ministry, to announce Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary as World Students' Day. The fun fact here is, he was referring to UN already declaring Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary World Students' Day. This is an example, I think, which brings me to convey a message that not everything that we read on social mainstream media could be true.
Yeah.
And often, sometimes be on the wrong side of reporting, especially
Yes.
in this times where everyone wants to be the one to break news,
Yes.
and
Yes.
especially on the digital front.
Yeah.
So once a media outlet picks some story, viral story, everyone follows the suit.
Yeah.
So it lies on as fact checkers and readers to be aware of what kind of narratives even mainstream media could misreport.
But that's quite tricky because typically we go to, and when I say we, it isn't just regular people, but even a lot of times in our fact checks, we say that, okay, we look for, when there is any claim made, and we say we look for information, we couldn't find it on mainstream media because the assumption is that what they're putting out is verified. So in that context, when you say that there have been these instances of misreporting by mainstream media, that brings me to a question of, so at least with the fake schemes that we spoke about last time, there are some indicators, like there are language errors in the text, or you go to the government website and and you see that okay, such a scheme does not exist, or such a job offer does not exist, the company website, as the case may be. But when we talk about mainstream media now, does that mean that we have to fact check every single article or every single news piece we see? Because that's not possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this is where our experience come into play. In fact, when someone has actually WhatsApp does this claim to debunk this claim that did UN declare Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary, and the moment we fact check, we tried to search, we found all those media reports, and our instinct said it's true.
Yeah.
But the specific thing, so we always go back to the primary source. Now, the claim being UN declared. So if UN declares, it has to be on the UN website.
Yeah.
So we went to the UN website. We did not find any articles. Then the claim also says 2010. So I just applied a time filter on the search results and found that none of these media organizations reported the news in 2010.
Right.
Right. And interestingly, all the reports that we see are from Indian media outlets itself. And now, if UN, a world organization, is
Yeah.
talking about Abdul Kalam's
Yeah.
birth anniversary, prominent personality, so all the international media outlets should also report.
Yeah.
None of that happened, right? So all these are pointers to me. Now, when to trust mainstream media, is something that comes with experience. I would say we can trust mainstream media when it reports news. And again, there is also examples where mainstream media has sometimes misreported news as well at certain incidents. So it becomes it's more like a judgment, always being aware that a news can be misreported by mainstream media, and it's tricky. And I would suggest, especially when there is a context around the claim, always go to your primary source. It's not always possible,
Yeah.
but at least I would say we can trust mainstream media at certain junctions on reporting news and all those things, but at certain other points, where it's more like a hunch.
Yeah.
It comes with experience sometimes, and we can also be on the wrong side. But again, we cannot expect each and every single reader to constantly keep taking mainstream media organization stories. So that's where I think fact checkers visibility plays a major role.
Right. So quickly then, now that we have addressed this theme in fake news and how to go about fact checking it at a personal level, let's quickly do the highlight of the fortnight. I think the one trend was definitely fake news related to the Karnataka elections, which happened yesterday.
Yeah. So as I informed the last during my last fortnight live as well,
Yeah.
the trend continued. In fact, it has
Mm.
increased. So there has been a lot of cases of old videos again being politicians campaign, like unrelated campaigns from 3 4 years back have again resurfaced, attributing them to Karnataka elections. Prakash Raj's statement during some of the elections have been attributed to the recent election.
Yeah.
A lot of prominent personalities. So a claim went viral in the name of a non-existent IAS officer,
Mm.
and then Ratan Tata, appreciating Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of such claims that have, went viral, as the elections grew closer. In
Yeah.
fact, today, in the last couple of days, as I said, we are seeing misinformation specific to EVMs.
Mm.
So we
Mm.
just were trying to debunk a story that has EVMs. So once as elections complete, we expect this trend to become the next couple of days, focusing on EVM. And when the results are out on 13th, I expect something misinformation, especially around numbers.
Right.
A lot of times, once the results out, we say, this party has lost the seats, so many seats with a margin of only 100 votes or
Yeah.
1,000 votes.
Yeah.
So this trend has always been there with elections, and we expect this to continue as the results conclude.
Right. Okay, thank you, Bharat, for
Thank you.
joining us again. And do remember that whether it is what the mainstream media has reported or what you got on social media, WhatsApp, whatever it is, we have our WhatsApp tip line where if you are struggling to find the reality of any information that you found, you can always just drop us a hi on our WhatsApp tip line. It's very easy to use, and you will get to know. You will either be linked to the existing fact check on that claim, or you will they'll get back. Someone from our team will get back to you eventually. So yeah, save that number. It's a very useful resource, and with that, we move to the next team that we are going to be talking about in this edition of the Factly Digest, which is the newsroom. So I have my colleague Sai Krishna with me here. Hi, Sai Krishna, and welcome to the Factly Digest for the very first time.
Thanks, Bharati.
Last week, we spoke to your colleague Bharat, and this time, you know, what is last time he spoke about the population data and all of that. So in this fortnight's highlight, what is the story that you think our viewers need to know about?
So, yeah, good evening, everyone. I think we have written a couple of interesting articles this fortnight,
Yeah.
but let me take you through the explainer on price indices that we have written.
Yeah.
So, most often people talk about rising prices, inflation. Sometimes they back their arguments with numbers without
Mm.
even knowing what their numbers actually mean.
Yeah.
So, we thought the as important as the performance is to be discussed, the methodology behind that kind of evaluation is also to be discussed. Hence, we felt that it would be important to provide some fundamental basics on how these indices are computed, compiled, and how these indices should be interpreted, and so on. So
Right.
that's the story behind the explainer.
Right. Now, you did say that people pick up numbers and quote it and all of that, which brings me to um, common people
Hmm.
like any of us, our friends and family. Um, why are these indices relevant to all of us? And yeah, so and I think yeah, everyone needs to have that sense of how to make sense of these numbers that are being thrown around.
So, I mean, it is pretty straightforward because all the macroeconomic events that are happening are simply the reflection of our society. So the rate at which these prices change can affect many facets of economy, be it our purchasing power, be it the people's cost of living, be it the nation's growth. So the rising prices control many factors of economy. So it is important for everyone,
Yeah.
and they must know what and how of the economy also.
Yeah. And I think what you can do, what I would suggest very strongly to our viewers is to go through the article. We will link it in the description, and read through it, make sense of it, and where you can't, get back to us through the YouTube comment section, and we will get back to you. Our whole team is at your disposal. Um, so yeah, the other thing I wanted to know vis-a-vis these indices is any method of calculation, right? There are some risks involved with it. Nothing is a perfect
Yes.
system. So when we talk about the specific indices that we are using in India today, what are these risks?
So before moving on to the risk, I'll just briefly explain how these indices are calculated.
Mm-hmm.
So to construct any price index, we start by selecting a base year. Then we choose a representative sample of goods and services that are to be included in that index. Then we compare the prices of those goods in the base year as well as the current year. Then we take the ratio that gives us the price index. Now coming to the limitations part, there are three important aspects that are need to be considered. The first is the selection of the base year. So it is very important because any movement in price change or rate of increase becomes significant or insignificant depending on the base year we choose. So that is an important aspect of index construction. The second aspect is the representative sample of goods and services that we have chosen. Now, uh, those are very important because that should represent the entire population, and it should also account for the entry of new kind of goods, the goods that people substitute when prices increase. So, having a proper representative sample of goods and services is very important for the index.
Mm.
And the third aspect is the weightage that we assign to each of these goods. So, if higher cost goods are assigned more weight, then any price increase in higher costly goods will have a significant change in price index. So, the weightage becomes important such that the weightage should be evenly distributed among all the items, not specifically concentrated on a particular few items. And in addition to all these three, most of the indices that are compiled in India does not go beyond price increases. Uh, so sometimes seasonality also becomes a factor in pricing. Like you can see fruits and vegetables, they become costlier in fruits in some seasons, and they are of less prices in off season. So these are some of the important risks that is involved when you interpret any kind of indices.
Right. Okay, so I think, yeah, once again, I would recommend that people go and read this article. I think you will find it very beneficial, and also look at the other work that the newsroom is doing, that the fact check team is doing, that we are doing here, our production team on YouTube and on social media. Uh, we are Factly India on all platforms. So yeah, please look at our work and come back to us with questions. And we do have some questions that we will answer shortly. But thank you so much, Sai Krishna. That was
Thanks.
very insightful.
Thanks.
All right. So we have a question by Manu John. It starts off with a statement actually that says Abdul Kalam is also a fake story. UN has never declared 15th October as World Students' Day. And October 15th has been declared International Day of Rural Women on the official website of the United Nations. Thank you for your comments, Manu John. And you're absolutely right. I hope you have actually seen our fact check on this. And if for those of you who haven't, again, we will link it in the description. But that is, we've covered all these facets in our story, and yeah, that's just how that story went. It's a very interesting case study if you want to look at it, and you should. Then Manu John has gone on to ask how to verify news outside Factly, uh, and they have acknowledged our WhatsApp tip line, so thank you for that. Outside Factly is in each of our fact check videos we even talk about these things, which is, if the image, if it's an image based claim, do a reverse image search, or if it's a video based claim, you take screenshots or keyframes from the video and put those through reverse image search, and you will likely be led to the original source. Or sometimes you just do a keyword search on the internet, on any search engine of your choice. These are some ways in which to do these things. And of course, for the more complex cases where it involves reaching out to people or officials, there are we are around. There are a plethora of fact checkers who are even verified by the IFCN, which is the International Fact Checking Network. So these are all ways for you to verify news or any information outside our fact tip line. Um, okay, we have a comment that says, I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce your name, so I'm not going to. It says Manipur or Lucina city? I'm not sure we understand, so I'm very sorry, but we will not be able to take that question. And yeah, I think that's all we have in terms of um, questions and comments. So thank you for these. Our next edition of the Factly Digest will be on Thursday, 18th May, around the same time, 6 p.m. IST. So join us then. And in the meantime, do follow our work and join our memberships, and keep asking us your questions through comments on our videos and on our social media posts. Thank you so much once again for joining the second edition of the Factly Digest, and we hope to see you next time.